Were you, or were you not, on a gay cruise?
No, you're 120% dick pic.
Everybody that age, they're sperminator.
Yeah.
Because we don't care about anything else. We're a walking hard on looking for a hole.
That's. I have to say you're right on that one. Oh, my God.
A stiff breeze comes through the room and you return the favor.
Got her in. Oh. Somewhere on the outside of this building, there is a hole where squirrels come in.
Better than a hole where dicks come in.
Yeah, better than that.
Going down the stairs to wash the laundry. What the hell? Shh. Pizza. Stop it now. I order you to stop. I'm still touching myself.
Yeah!
All young bitches want to do is pop pills, smoke weed, get drunk, lay around, suck dick, eat hot Cheetos, charge they phone, get a sew and weave, twerk, be bisexual, eat McDonald's, wash they pussy in the sink, lie, take selfies, and talk shit through Wi-Fi because they phone never on.
I think washing they pussy in the sink is my favorite part. The Vietnamese trade in dongs. Figuratively and literally, I'm sure.
Oh, my God, that's hilarious.
I did decide to look it up. 500,000 dongs is a good night for Pop's ex.
Like most women, he's an emotional thinker.
Good God.
I mean, that's part of the problem we're having now in our society is we have a bunch of emotional thinkers that want the world to, to fall in line with their emotions. That's not... look, reality doesn't give a shit about emotions.
It's my lived truth. Fuck your lived truth.
No, it's not. It's your perspective.
Kiss my ass.
Literally like, hey, Sergeant Pop, you got to turn your bear suit. I'm like, over my dead body. No. Just give me a statement of charges. Yeah. You're never getting this back. Yeah. You can suck it.
I'm going to wear this with my Russian coat.
you will bury me in this. Hey! Why you gotta fucking be like that, man?
Because I'm an asshole, and I learned from the best. I'm sitting across from him, and I'm pointing at you with all four fingers.
All right, first of all, the Russian jacket is World War II surplus.
I'll send you a picture of it, Sarge.
Yeah, okay. I
got you standing wearing it with holding two giant buckets like you just collected all the chum from behind the dump dumpster at the bar, and you're going to go home and make ice cream out of it. Are you sure about that?
I don't know. It could be a little bit.
Welcome to Grunt Speak.
Get fucked.
Live from the lair!
I'm Slab Bulkhead. That's Fridge Large Meat, and that's Punt Speed Chunk. Welcome to the show. Y'all miss me? I know you did. Y'all love my MST3K references.
Miss you like a bad case of syphilis.
Hey, better than a bad case of monkeypox.
Oh, yeah.
True story.
Speak as I adjust my buttocks on the seat. You take that how you will. Preferably on your knees with your mouth open. Bigots!
Oh, we're so gonna get a walkthrough.
It happens.
It does happen.
What are you gonna do?
Hey, it could be a lot worse. Could be much, much worse.
Could have true freedom of speech. Apparently, that would be
It
one.
could just be the worst ever.
Oh my God.
Oh my God!
You can't just say whatever you want.
You can't
Hurt my
just
feelings.
shut.
Bullshit, man.
It is some bullshit.
Emotions.
It's just not fair that he gets to say whatever he wants, even if it's true. I'm
Shut.
offended by his truth, even though I'm living a lie. Shut up.
My favorite is how people will just look for any type of deflection and like pick apart your delivery.
Of course.
Your delivery wasn't sensitive enough.
Yeah, I don't care about
Like,
that.
go fuck yourself.
All right. That mindset.
Sit on a dick.
Hang on. That mindset right there is the same mindset that we had during the Vietnam conflict. While we were bombing the absolute shit out of the North, they were within 4 to 6 months away from capitulating or surrendering. And the people back home said, well, I know we're at war, but we don't really agree with how you're doing it. So you have to stop bombing these people in the North. And we lost that conflict and went through a whole boatload of treasure and lives. I don't do that. I am not changing my tone. I'm not changing my vocabulary. We're addressing here on this show a force out there that is weaponizing love and hope against men and driving them into an early grave. We're already at war. The other side just hasn't recognized it yet. Boom.
And when they do,
I love that, man.
that's exactly what's going to happen. And you know I'm right. These
they're
people who think they want to fight because they haven't had one that didn't involve being shoved down on the playground and going hee hee and the person running away. Yeah, they think they want to fight. As soon as they get one, they're gonna fly out the door running and screaming, and it's not fair.
Well,
People can't even deal with real bullying.
well,
No,
in my
perfect
past,
example is the whole thing. Like they've been using lawfare against President Trump now for months and months. As soon as he announced that he was running again, it just went off of the freaking chain.
Yeah.
And now Kamala's trying to. Well, basically, they're terrified he's going to do what they've been doing. And then, literally, the same day that she's, voicing, well, he might weaponize the Department of Justice against his political enemies. Where a dude who was peacefully protesting, pro-lifer, got sent to federal prison, basically for praying quietly. So yeah.
How dare you peacefully assemble?
All right, this
and
is
how
express?
dare you.
hang on. This is the saying
You don't have a right to that.
This is the saying I've used in the past quite a few times. All right, especially when people were picking fights with me, and I would, finally when I have enough, I would get up and shit would go down, and they would be all offended and upset, and I would look them in the face and go, "If you pick a fight with a fighting man, and then you're surprised when you get a fucking fight, you're out of your fucking mind, you idiot."
A little bit.
All right, you don't poke the fucking bear.
Ew.
And that's what's happening.
Even
now.
if you choose it.
No, but here's the thing. The left has been doing exactly all this fucked up shit, blaming it on the right, poking the bear. And at some point, the conservatives, even if they're, left of center and right, are going to say enough is enough. And then you're going to have all of this whining and crying on the left about how they're being bullied and attacked. When they fucking pick the fight.
Yep.
Yeah.
They literally have been fucking over the citizens of this country since, I don't know, right after Reagan left.
Well, it's kind of like you have two dogs, an older dog, and then you introduce the newer dog, and that little young newer dog is just chronically nipping at the older one until finally that older one comes up and just rips the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Done.
Stop the shit.
Stop your shit.
People tell you their boundaries. Just saying. And it's funny, too, because a lot of this could be dealt with by, like, leaving people alone.
It could.
Yes.
And letting
All
us
you got to do is nothing.
All you have to do is just stop wiping your ass with the Constitution. And with that being said, and we were just talking about our First Amendment rights here, we got some new merch for you.
Yeah.
Check it out. Good ideas don't need censorship. Redonkulas.com. We got patches, laptop sleeves, mouse pads, pint glasses, koozies, rock glasses, mugs, hats, desk pads, tumblers, shirts, and stickers.
The whole smorgasbord.
Or if you're Mexican, the whole enchilada. Extra sauce dripping down your face. Quite fantabulous. If you want to know how to get here, all you got to do, and I will show you right here on there. Go to redonkulas.com. Front page right here. Official swag shop. Boom. Bring it up. And there it is.
And you're off to the races.
Featured products right now is our 2024 line with all the because we're different, we love you campaign stuff. But you click on all products and you get these coming up right here. You can narrow things down by shirts, hats, drinkables, stickers, patches, and extras. Extras is like the laptop stuff, the desk pad, mouse pad, laptop sleeves, all that. Check it out and do it now. Get to the chopper.
Do it.
Do it. 9NDA3 sent us 5, I don't know, British pounds, euros, or something. Oh, he's from Poland. Poland here again. It's us Poles that run the entire USA in reality. All the time you hear Poles say regarding economy, politics, etc. I knew you dumb Polacks. We should have gave you back to the Russians.
Well, I actually...
we did. It was pretty fucked up.
I post on the MGTOW Polish Guy Facebook group.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We have a Polska Bob in our chat, too.
No. Oh, yeah, cool.
Oh, you damn Polskas.
Yeah, I did in my past, did mess around with probably 4 or 5 Polish chicks.
Ironic for a dude who doesn't like to eat Polish food, but you'll definitely eat Polish chicks.
Back then, yes. They were full German, and it was fun.
It was a good time.
Yeah, it was good times.
There was a older Polish lady who used to cut my hair all the time when I was a kid. She still had that thick Polish accent, made damn good pierogies. Whenever she messed up my hair, she'd always say, "It's okay, guaranteed to grow back."
Mm-hmm.
If only she knew.
Yeah, my hair's thinning up too. It'll be gone by the
my
time
hair's thinning faster than I am. Fuck.
Yeah, you'll know when I've had enough when I just go bald.
Yeah,
I'm done. I'll just shave it off.
Yeah, my fancy red light hat isn't working anymore. This fucking sucks.
Hey. Listen, you can't stop time, man.
No, you can't.
Time is going to kick everyone's asses
over their head,
some
like
faster than others. But at the end of the day, you're going down for the 10 count and you're getting counted out of the game.
You ain't kidding.
That's just the way it goes.
You know who should be going down for the 10 count? Not to be confused with our stunning and brave vice president, who's totally never gone down for a job in her life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the FBI. Why do they exist again? Oh, that's right, to lie. Stealth edit. The FBI has now quietly revised their violent crime stats. When the FBI originally released the final crime data, which did not include any liberal shitholes where most of the crime is happening, FYI.
20 cities weren't included?
Yep, all leftoid shitholes.
20 fucking major cities.
Yep. The final crime data for 2022 reported that the nation's violent crime rate fell by 2.1%.
Oh my God.
Which was horseshit, and we all know it. But the FBI has now quietly revised those numbers, releasing new data showing violent crimes increased by 4.5%.
All right,
which
by.
From the old numbers would actually be an increase of over 6%, which doesn't sound like much until you take into account there's almost 400 million people in this country. And the fact that this number still doesn't include the 20 leftoid shitholes.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. All right, so I used to, hang out with a bunch of libtards back in the day. All right, now I quit talking to them about 2 years ago. But up until that point, I would get in these arguments with them, and I would bring up the stats of the Uniform Crime Report, and they'd be like, "I don't believe that."
Of course not, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, let me just wrap my head around this. All right, so you have a database where all of the law enforcement agencies of this country, send their numbers up there. And you're going to sit there and tell me that you don't believe those numbers and, all of this other bullshit. Basically, you're not acknowledging reality.
It's like 11,000 different reporting agencies.
Yes, it's actually more than that. You're not acknowledging reality. And then once they started pushing the whole trans thing on me, I'm like, you guys can fuck off.
Yeah.
You don't live in the real world, and I'm not living where you're at because it's going to wind up in oblivion.
Yep. And for anybody who is curious about whether or not this type of revision is standard, we have an answer. I have checked the data on the total violent crime from 2004 to 2022, says Carl Moody, professor at the College of William and Mary, who specializes in studying crime. There were no revisions from 2004 through 2015. From 2016 to 2020, there were small changes of less than 1 percentage point. The huge changes in 21 and 22, especially without an explanation, make it difficult to trust the FBI.
Yeah. And, well, here's another thing. They've been doing this for a while. They've been rolling the Hispanic crime stats into the Caucasian column.
Because as far as if it's just Caucasian crime stats, those are rookie numbers. You got to bump those numbers up in this rank.
Isn't that cultural appropriation?
It could be.
It really is. Yeah.
But the thing,
we're stealing crime from the
I don't like
sticks,
that.
man.
But we did a video on this. And the Caucasians are really good at like white collar crime and sophisticated lie and die crime, stuff like that. They're not really the,
the brutals,
gun to you, pull you out of your car kind of shit. Now, I'm not saying there aren't Caucasians out there that don't do that.
Of course, yeah. I mean, we fought 2 world wars over Caucasians getting their panties in a bunch.
Yes.
The Nordics, the Celtics, all those background Germanics, they tend to have a little bit of more, we'll say assertiveness.
You mean all the icks?
Yeah, we'll say assertiveness.
The
we'll go with
icks
assertiveness.
have the powerful dicks.
Yeah, it is what it is. I can see why the X's come back.
Icks with dicks. There are no icks with dicks, only yucks with fucks. A 9NDA3 chimes in again. Also, Pop, I heard you play War Thunder. Maybe a match? Also, DEF CON from 2007 is about nuclear wars, since you talk about nukes' effect on cities.
Yeah, I've done a few videos where you show the nuke map thing, and you're like, okay, if they drop a nuke this size, this is how many people are going to get instantly incinerated. They won't feel it. Then you have this ring of people who get slowly baked with actual heat and radiation.
That's your literal burning ring of fire.
Yeah.
Right there.
Burning ring of fire. You don't want that. Nobody wants it.
And God we trust, all others pay cash.
I just hope if my exes have any like burning sensations, they'll just call me. I don't want to get a test.
I don't want to get.
I don't want to get a test. I'll just tell people I've got the skivvies.
Well, it's got to be embarrassing as hell.
I don't know. I mean,
I used to send guys to the special adult clinic all the time, and they'd be like, "Yeah, you walk into that room, and everyone in there won't make eye contact because they know they have dirty genitals.
You got dirty P nice, bro.
There's some shit going on, and you have a dirty genital.
I've never gotten anything.
Just spray your butthole with Pine Sol and call me in the morning.
Yeah,
Pine Sol with lemon.
The worst was that one guy that had the French tickler melon balled off.
Oh, God. Ream and Scream. That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
Ream and Scream. Plow and Disavow. Don't forget that one.
Listen, man. When I don't pride myself on this, but he's like, you got to see this. And I'm like, okay.
Oh.
All right, just show it to me. Okay. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm getting the first sergeant. You should be in the field. You're.
Was that before or after he had it scooped off with a melon ball?
That was after. They sent him to the field with a hole in his penis. They could get infected. And
shit.
I went and got the first sergeant. He came out and did the same thing. He's like, no.
Yeah, he thought
get in my car.
He thought the wart was a problem. What about gangrene?
I know. They drove his ass back to the...
Could you imagine having gangrene in your penis?
It's coming off.
Dude, if you lost your cock, I mean, like... It could go one of two ways. Like, it could either be like the end of everything or the beginning of everything. Like, you just lose all that drive and desire. It could actually, like Seinfeld, that episode of Seinfeld.
Actually,
eunuch.
I'm trying. I can't remember the story, the exact time frame, but
Skeet and
Northern Africa, the slave trade.
Yeah,
that was a big thing. They would get these slaves and just castrate as many as they could and see who lived. Well, some of those people they castrated, despite the fact that they had none of that plumbing left, turned into absolute uncontrollable savages because they were pissed off.
I could say that.
I would.
And they literally had to put them down.
Damn.
They would just go, and I don't blame them. I'm like,
well, yeah.
That's like when Magneto ripped out Wolverine's adamantium, and it, because of the poisoning of the adamantium, actually suppressed a lot of his healing ability, so he turned into an unkillable fucking savage.
Yeah.
After that.
That was a good comment.
Eric Lenscher was like, I think I might have fucked up. Because now I can't just grab him when he comes at me. And I think he might be a little bit pissed.
Yeah.
So then the chomos, you really shouldn't castrate and let back out. You should just 86 them.
Well, listen. I am not going to get on that bandwagon.
Wood chippers go burr.
Yeah, there you go. I'm
All
not
I can
advocating
say
anything, just
is-
nature.
We don't need ballot printers to go burr. We need wood chippers to
Well,
go
hang on. Those people cannot be rehabilitated.
I agree. There are some like that, there's an exit plan. I believe it's called an exit plan.
Yes.
And those who understand the the severity of their proclivities will actually ask to be castrated.
Yeah.
Chemically or otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like, I can't control these urges, but I don't want to hurt a child. Like,
they know what they're doing is
Take it.
fucked and wrong.
Yeah. And look, man, when you read about stuff like that in the good book, it just says, they're done. And unfortunately, when you read the Older Testament, the victims get, put to the sword as well, which I don't agree with.
No, I don't either.
But, once you start going down that road, there's no turning back. You're not rehabilitatable. And we're going to have that, conversation in the near future because this is becoming a problem. It's going to get worse because of all this grooming we've seen over the past 5 years.
There's going to be a pendulum swing back, and it's going to be, sadly, it could be very swift and brutal.
Here's the thing, Battledorf and I, we say this on the show when he's on. He's like, you want Adolf? Because this is how you get Adolf.
Yeah.
But people, they have swept the real history of why he came to power under the rug. And it's because it mimics exactly what we are seeing in this country.
Current year,
right
People need to really go look at what was right before the Spanish Civil War and all the different factions in Spain at the time, and then in Germany in the interwar period.
Yeah.
Especially the sexualization of Berlin.
Yeah, that was nuts. And then
but
hang on. The Nazis burned books. Yes,
Which
they did.
ones?
They did, but they burned a lot of the trans bullshit.
They burned the kitty corn.
All of that stuff.
Yeah.
And
that's not art. That's crime.
Correct.
Listen,
this nation is going to have some very serious conversations in regards to the pedos, the trans problem, the criminal migrants,
the people who enable it and
Yep.
circumvent the law and try to put policy above law. But hey, like we said, Tale of Two Cities is a decent read.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And speaking of enablers, senior meta engineer reveals anti-Kamala posts are automatically demoted and admits to shadow banning tactics to help Democrats win elections. So basically, you've got kitty corn enthusiasts wanting more kitty corn, and they know they'll get that with "come swallow a heels up, pull my hairs."
Well, here's the thing about the shadow banning. All right, so I have watched a lot of the hidden camera videos that were done by O'Keefe. Is that his name?
Yeah,
James O'Keefe.
Okay, yeah, this is one of his videos actually.
And some of and I think Crowder's done a few, and a couple other people.
Yep.
And it's always a date situation, and these guys are literally opening their mouth to try to impress a piece of strange, and just destroying, who they work for and even their own careers.
Yep.
Now, do I think he was lying here? I do not.
No.
I do not. And I watched this video, and he was very smug about it as well.
Well, they usually are. That's one thing that I have noticed. That they act like they're and they're smug because they've gotten away with it for so long. But now Twitter is a free speech platform. We have new tech. We have all of these sites where these videos can get out there and not be suppressed. So good luck with your election interference, because that's exactly what this is.
Correct.
Every time you point a finger, three are pointing back at you, face bukkake.
I'm going to be honest. I want to see forward momentum where these so-called platforms for free speech that are actually acting as publishers get treated as publishers. Thus, they are liable for all the shit on their sites.
Yep.
Because
if you're going to act like a publisher, you should be held liable.
That's exactly what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Exactly. Facebook was given the latitude because they sold it like, oh, it's just a public square where anyone can speak.
No, it can't. You're bringing
Not
in
anymore.
advertisement and revenue.
That is not. Now, listen, I don't have a problem with advertising.
And it's publicly traded as well.
Yeah, and it's publicly traded.
I have no problem.
Yeah,
with them.
neither do I.
They want to make money.
That's great.
I'm all for it.
But that puts them under certain restrictions, right?
There are some restrictions. But if you're going to tell the country it's a free speech platform and then turn around and bugger everyone in the downstairs mix-up, you need to get shut down.
Yep.
I'm just going to be honest there.
And one thing I have to talk about here is that we know that everything that this dude said was absolutely true because O'Keefe contacted him directly afterwards to request comment regarding the hidden camera footage. And all the guy said was, fuck, and he hung up.
I know. I saw that one. It was hilarious.
Will. Beaten Cheek says Twitter/X isn't exactly free speech either. Well, no one website online is totally free speech.
No.
I was monetized at 50K subs, and when I went against these PDF files, grown adults liking children, I was permanently banned, so they are still protecting those sick people.
Now, was he which platform was he banned from?
Twitter.
YouTube? Twitter?
Twitter X,
Twitter?
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to be honest.
You know what? You need to actually take the circumstances of that and tag Elon Musk in it directly. He's been known to reverse a lot of this shit when it's actually brought to his attention.
Yeah.
Just because he got rid of he trimmed a lot of the fat over there doesn't mean there's not some brimelos in there who still like this stuff.
They shut down my original Twitter page, and I've had 2 pages on Facebook get nuked in the past 10 years.
Yep.
And all I was doing was just like sharing political messages. Everyone share. And I'm even my current Facebook, I'm getting all these negative stuff, bullying, hate speech. And all I'm doing is just, it's in my feed and I just share it.
And also too, you have to remember that these, a lot of these profiles that do get banned or, what have you from these different platforms, they're not banned because of your conduct. They're banned because a group of people got together, saw your shit and didn't like it. So they mass flag you and they're just like, oh, okay, well, this many people, it's the Bill Cosby syndrome. Well, this many people, making allegations, it must be true. And then they just don't look.
Yeah, listen, there needs to be some type of legal remedy for this shit. We should be able, if you get kicked off one of these because they're a public platform, you should be able to take them to court and sue them for this.
Because it is a violation of your First Amendment rights.
It is.
But I think it's just also indicative of how fucking soft we've gotten. A lot of this could be reverted back. Like, look at how when we were raised as kids, like a lot of this shit didn't go on because I first got knocked the fuck out at 7 years old for running my mouth.
Yeah.
So I learned real quick, hey, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
And you had to bully people.
Turn your fucking phone off, dude.
Yeah, what are you doing?
He's getting his gay porn notifications from X Hamster, whatever the hell he watches. Huh?
I know he's shopping for a new poop wound to put his wiener in.
Richard Gere prefers X Hamster because it reminds him of good times.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, there you go.
But here's the thing.
You gerbling bastard.
They have this loophole they're a private company and they can choose who they want on there or not. But the thing is they're operating in a network that was built by our tax dollars.
It's publicly traded.
They're publicly traded.
Partially subsidized.
Partially subsidized. And they're working on behest of the government right now. Yes. So indirectly, they are working for the government and they should be able to be sued as if they were in the government.
Yes. And representatives of Congress are all on these platforms. So when you remove somebody's ability to use that platform, you are also removing their ability to talk with their representative. That is why they decided that these representatives are not allowed to delete their tweets anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it is the new public square. This is the internet. This is the war zone. And that's why we're here.
Yeah. Well, as a Green Beret, or former Green Beret, you're always a special op guy once you work in that community.
Okay.
The direct action stuff, I'm too old for that. That is no longer viable. But I'm still in the fight for hearts and minds. And that is exactly what I'm doing. In fact, you've gave me so much shit because why do we have all these platforms? Man, not getting because this is I'm looking at it as a war thing, and he's looking at it as an economics thing. We can blend them together in some regard.
I'm not looking at it as an economics thing. I'm looking at it as there's only enough time in the day thing.
Correct. And
part of the reason the internet overtook the legacy media is because you can interact with creators, but you can't interact with creators who have spread themselves too thin.
Okay,
you fat ass.
I'm not fat anymore. I lost a whole bunch of weight. I lost 30 pounds.
He's husky.
Man.
He's husky.
You're husky.
I was 195 this morning. God dang it.
Fat ass.
You're just being mean.
Go wipe the monkeypox off your phone.
Damn you.
9NDA3. Make Poppin' Dumb and Dumber. The toilet scene. He had it. Yeah. That'd be a good deep fake. I would totally be down for that. Count Chad the Impaler. Corporations aren't people, and only a corrupt system gives them the rights of people. Correct. And corporate personhood and the power of globalists. Amen.
Well, hang on a minute. One of the main reasons they came up with the whole corporation thing back in the 1600s is they would do a lot of trade, and they put a lot of money into these ships and get a bunch of investors. But you don't have any control over the weather back then. Maybe today it's different.
Maybe.
But you lose the ship to bad weather, and then like half the town would go out of business because everyone's bankrupt.
Yeah.
So if you put it in a corporation, well, that corporation is fucked, and we'll do another one. And that's a roundabout grunt speak way of why we have the corporations.
So it sounds like it was created initially to defend the workers, and now it's become
a pass-through.
Yeah, it's a mechanism to oppress the worker.
It enslaves.
It's that's how you can have billions of dollars and have an earned income salary of $5,000.
Yes, absolutely correct. And let's be honest here. If they could get away forcing the workers of this country to work for 20 cents an hour like they would do in China,
a heartbeat.
We wouldn't have all our industry overseas.
Exactly. And that's why Trump said to Hillary back in the debates back in 15 or 16 or whatever it was like, hey, your friends are benefiting from all these rules just like me. You're not going to change them. And that's what the public doesn't understand. All these people who say we're going to overturn this and that. It's like, no, they're fucking not. They're making so much bank off of it. They have every vested interest in keeping it going.
Yeah. I've been telling people who vote Democrat forever who love to parrot on about the big corporations, they're evil monolithic billionaires, blah, blah, blah. If you think that these politicians are going to tax their donors, you're fucking retarded.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
And here's another thing. When you hear those commercials for Kamala Harris, which is, we're going to bring down prices for food and this gouging. All right, that is just roundabout speak for communism.
Yeah, it's called price controls.
Yes, that's communism.
It's never worked. And all you get from price controls is starvation.
Yep. So good luck with that.
Because if there's no profit, nobody's going to do it.
And something tells me this country starving is going to be different than like poor people. Because like in other places, they're used to like being hungry. Here
we have more guns than people here.
Yeah, and also like people here, I'm starving is like I haven't eaten in 3 hours.
Or the Wingstop girl.
You're not gonna make it, dude. I just want Wingstop. I want cootie juices.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. We are screwed and tattooed.
Yep. Beaten Cheek says, because I'm not able to be on there, I can't tag anyone, including Musk, so I am banned because they verified me. I can't use another account. Well, send your info to us. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
And yes, I was banned from mass reporting for sure. Leftoids love this stuff. Oh, you mean kitty corn? Yes, they do. They are the primary audience for it. But it's not all bad news. We got some funny shit for you. Somebody decided to use AI in a beautiful way. We saw this interaction between Obama and Biden, and it looks like Obama delivers a backhanded comment, and you can tell that Biden is not very happy about it. So they used AI with a little bit of lip reading, and this is one of the funniest things I've seen in a while.
So is Kamala doing okay?
Nope. She's down, Joe. I think they found out that she's retarded, and now we're basically Trump is killing us at the polls. So yes, we're going to lose Joe.
Damn it. Wait. What if I come back to run again?
As candidate?
Yeah.
Well, let me put it this way, Joe. The only person in this world who is even more retarded than Kamala Harris is basically you. So no, Joe,
on, man.
you're
Just
not going
give it
back
another
in.
shot.
Let's let it all play out. Okay, we'll talk later, Joe.
Okay.
Women looking fine up in here.
You know what? Listen, have you ever heard the bad lip reading? You ever seen those videos? Those are hilarious.
What's hilarious, though, is that an actual lip reader claimed this wasn't too far from the truth.
Yep.
There it is. So New York Post hired a professional lip reader to decode the conversation between Obama and Biden. It turns out they were agreeing that Kamala Harris is not performing as well as Biden did against Trump.
Yep.
Biden, she's not as strong as me. That's true. Wow. But you're still retarded, Joe. And a diddler. We're not going to forget
Now,
that.
listen, as AI gets better, you're going to literally have politicians take off hats or have handkerchiefs to hold in front of their face when they talk to people.
Oh, like Kamala when she was on a Zoom meeting and forgot to mute her mic. This is live. We can still hear you, you vapid quanta.
I'm waiting for like the AI robots where like the real guy is out there and then like 2 AI robots come out and like nobody knows who the fuck's who. And everybody's like, I'm really the real one.
Autobots and Decepticons.
Yeah, we'll see.
That'd be fun.
Times.
It's a good time. It's like idiocracy on steroids.
It really is. And that really takes us to this next one perfectly.
Stand by. I want to put this out. All right. So we talked earlier about spreading ourselves too thin. We have openings for video editors. We need all the help we can get.
Anybody wants to help me out?
Yeah. Listen, ideally, I'd like to have, 6 video editors in the background. So if one can't do it, another one can pick it up and move this forward. We don't have a lot of money to pay you. Sorry. But if you're, part of the regiment, you want to save lives and you have, a couple hours to donate a week, that would be great because we need all the help we can get.
Yeah, because my business is to the point and my family life is now to the point where without assistance, it's either going to be me streaming with you on Thursdays or I'm going to be editing videos, but I will not be able to do both for much longer.
That gay porn is really taking off.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Shit happens.
It's like Bottoms Up and Bottoms Up 2 are doing great, man. I'm happy for you.
Well, I mean, no, it's Star Whores.
Okay.
Yeah, but
the Phantom Man-ass.
Like if you watch the last Live from the Lair we put out.
So go, hit me up in an email, brother.
We're not doing this for the money.
No.
All right. This is not a money thing. If money comes, great. I'm not going to turn it away. But nobody else on the goddamn planet is doing this. I am like the only comedian on the planet using his talents to turn people away from killing themselves. And we can't get out of the fucking algorithm jail we're in. We're getting demonetized left and right. And all we're really doing is telling the truth. We're winding up on the ADL hate lists because we're telling guys to literally do an about face and do not interact.
Which is hilarious because when you look at the laws as they have been set in place for marriage and divorce, that was obviously the goal.
Go your own.
They wanted
way.
people. They don't want men and women to get together and create families. They want us warring with each other over scraps.
Yep.
Yeah. I can definitely fall into that category of thought, but it's just an evil, evil world.
It is, and they want you dumb enough to not see how evil it is, and that's why you cannot stay home on November 5th. Check this out.
Here we go.
Because you need to negate this stupid bitch's vote and everyone who thinks like her. Black American lady tore down Greek flags at a Euro shop because she thought they were Israeli. I wish I was kidding. Now, for reference, this is the Israeli flag.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Greek flag.
They're pretty different.
Little bit.
That shit. And I'm about to come back and put Free Palestine, too. The Free Palestine, bitch. Look, what you looking at? You know damn well there's a genocide. You know there's a genocide.
Right.
Where?
Now, stop it. I'm taking this shit down. I believe this one.
Yeah.
There hasn't been an actual genocide since the Armenian genocide.
I don't stand for it.
I don't stand for it.
All right, now
What
first
do
of
you got
all,
against shawarmas?
all right.
There's genocide, and I don't stand for.
Now, let's just, for the sake of argument, let's say that these were Israeli flags that she was taking down while she's screaming "Free Palestine."
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, weren't these the same stupid motherfuckers who have been calling anyone who votes for Trump for the past 8 years a Nazi?
Correct. Well, but okay, now I'm just watching.
Think about it for a second.
You're expecting logic, Blake.
Now stand by. I saw this
Stop it.
earlier, and a couple things came to mind. Is we need to have some laws on the books where you're allowed to defend your fucking business like it is your home.
Yes.
Especially as a corporation has already been ruled, it's an entity that
Yeah.
can act as a person.
But here's the thing: if that business is your sole source of income and people are doing shit to it, they're literally condemning you to starve, which in the long run will kill you.
It's also, what
All
about just defending your property?
Stand by. So we've had all of this, summer of love horse shit, and people are like, well, insurance will pick up the tab. Well, they're not picking up the tab.
No, they're not.
In fact, they're not insuring a lot of inner city places now, or the premiums are out of reach for the small business. We need to have some laws that allow business owners to defend their business like it was their home. That means, maybe you have a Maverick 88 12 gauge behind the counter and somebody shows up and starts smashing shit, making threats, doing stuff. You can do a citizen arrest, put him on his belly until the cops come, or saw him in half with 9 pellets of double-aught buckshot.
But that's by his choice.
Correct.
If he decides to engage in something that could harm that business owner, well, then he's choosing to take that buckshot.
But these business owners are going to jail. They're getting caught up in the whole law system, which in my opinion is out of control. You should not have to lose a house to get access to your constitutional rights in a criminal fucking courtroom.
But how else are they going to take over all the industry and all the homes? If you can't have in their agenda, in their plan, you can't have homes, you can't have neighborhoods, you can't have small businesses.
Yes.
You just can't. Doesn't exist in their model.
All right. Stand by. Were you going to read that?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, man.
I was letting you do your thing.
All right.
I was going to talk. I'm just prepping it right now. But I mean, you can see what we're up against.
Yes.
Here. All right. And every time we show you somebody this obnoxiously stupid, we have to balance it out with some sweet karma, courtesy of Iron Riddle. By the way, whose daughter is still homeless, and if you guys want to help her out, you can check out the website. Go on to redonkulas.com, click on this stream right here, and you'll see that we're trying to help her out here. We've raised $105 so far. His 22-year-old daughter has found herself homeless. She and her mother parted in ways not in a good way. This is leaving my daughter without a place to live near her work. She doesn't drive and is going through hard times, looking to get enough money to cover her rent so she can get back on her feet. So if y'all can help her out a little bit, that'd be fantastic. Looks like Dear Sarge actually chipped in last week, 20 bones. So thank you very much, Sarge.
All right.
All right, so let's check out this sweet, sweet karma. Vindicated with Sweet Karma is the title. It's always been hard to be a man, but it's different now than 100 years ago. I suspect we're just as gynocentric today as when my grandparents were children. Gynocracy is good by design to protect our women, but Western women have abused this privilege into a level of abomination of spoiled entitlement.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
I couldn't say it better.
Weak men have allowed it to progress and continue. Yes, because weak men they think like women. The only unit of value they see is sex.
Weak men are sneaky fuckers.
Yes, they are. They're nice guys.
That's why male feminists have a higher rapé rate.
Correct.
Overall, yeah. That they infiltrate and dominate.
Because being nice equates to sex.
Yes.
And somehow me saying you got to have a fucking personality makes me a misogynist. Go figure.
Surprise snuggle.
We are all istophobics.
It's not rapé, it's surprise sex. Everyone likes surprises.
I'm just being spontaneous.
Get the hell out of here with that.
Dude, we're going to hell.
Show me your butthole.
Yes.
$5 a month, bitch.
Yes, we are.
Disgusting.
Every day I feel like God and Jesus are watching me and just testing me. Like, are you gonna be good or not? Like,
you know, we should just right behind me on this wall should just be a framed picture of Buddy Christ, just like
yup, exactly.
looking over my shoulder. What are you laughing at today, motherfucker?
Exactly.
We're gonna have a talk when you're 65. In a relationship today, men have 100% of the responsibility, 0 authority, which is slavery.
Correct.
The opposite is tyranny, which is 0% responsibility and 100% authority. Modern Western women still think they are slaves and need to crush the tyrannical patriarchy and set themselves free. That's why the tyrannical patriarchy is literally corrupting algorithms in order to help a woman win. Right?
Yep.
Right? Dumb bitches.
I hate the patriarchy, so I'm going to pay taxes and vote to make it bigger.
And work for it.
Yep.
What could go wrong?
Well, now you know why all those guys are sitting at home playing video games. They don't need to do anything.
They're sitting on their asses, like their eggs are frozen and decrepitating in the freezer, and they're just sitting on the couch with their boxed wine and cats going, my logic was infallible.
No, it had fallacies. Sorry. You're too late.
That only works if you know what logic means.
Yeah, it's like 35. It's like 35, 40. It's just like it's like a lost cause at that point. Just like you're stuck.
They hit that wall at 0 eggs per hour, and their airbags did not go off.
Actually, there was an article in Time magazine that came out like 2015-17 timeframe, and there's a chart, and it shows you the ages of women and years they stay married. And when they get over 45, they don't stay married that long.
No.
So there's no point. Like literally 5-6 years, 11 tops.
Yeah.
Men I think are more capable of like sustaining the long-term commitment and even doing a second one. But like as the women get older, the bitterness comes, the irritability and entitlement comes. And
well, what you see as the woman gets older is her inner ugliness migrating to the outside.
Yep.
Yes.
And everybody has to suffer because she's suffering. Everybody else has to suffer.
Yeah, it's like black mold in your walls.
Right.
You can paint over it with the war paint and what have you, but sooner or later, it's going to start to seep through, and long term, it will kill you.
And people don't want to deal with it. And you know, one area you can really see this at is this whole new trend of adult children not talking to parents.
Yep. And again, that's all part of the design.
Yep.
The people who want to keep us fighting and fighting over scraps, they don't want people on good relations with their parents. They don't want men and women on good relations because that's how you create families, and families give you something else to worship besides the government, which is the same reason they bombed religion.
Yeah.
There will be no Athens, Tennessee with a culture and a lack of community like this.
Yeah, stand by. All right.
Yeah, there's more. There's more. You motherfuckers keep going off in the weeds. Actually, I have this here.
You've reached your limit on talking. Shut the fuck up.
All right, there we go. Continuing here. Modern Western women still think they're slaves and need to crush the tyrannical patriarchy and set themselves free. If there was time, this would be a good place to insert a fitting Jackal bullshit report. Get on it, sir. To show this abuse of power, I wrote the following. For 17 years, my ex abused me, and during that time when I tried to get help, other men told me I was to blame, or they didn't believe me. Yeah, if you think women face skepticism when they go to report rapé at a police station, try being a dude. Good fucking luck having anyone take you seriously, even your close friends, as we can see from this.
Wow.
My Lanta. Meanwhile, women are free to lie about whatever they want happening to them, and they call it trauma bonding. In your face. Others could not get their brains wrapped around men being abused by women, even though 75% of unreciprocated domestic abuse is female spearheaded. Yeah, a little bit. Or I would get laughed at. When they would talk to her, she would cry and sob how horrible of a man I was. Well, if I was so damn horrible, and if I was the aggressor, why would she stay with me and use that opportunity to get away? If I was the aggressor, why was I the one trying to get help? I tried to fix myself, and it took me a very long time to realize that it wasn't me. As you know, I was self-deleting. I was battling self-deletion ideation when I found Purple Heart's Final Beat. It was the first glimmer of hope that I was not alone. Pop and Blake, you fuckers, you made me cry. No, wait, that's not strong enough. I wept bitterly to the point of being incapacitated with a fifth of Captain Morgan's private stock.
Yeah!
Well, if you're going to cry, you might as well be a drunk baby while you're at it.
Yeah.
I finally realized that I wasn't crazy, but I did marry it. When we met, my ex had 2 girls, 6 and 8, She abused both of her daughters to the point where cops had been called. The girls were forced into anger management classes, and 8 years later, she lost custody of one of them who was 14. My ex abused my first son at 17, and he has a permanent police record that has put a chokehold on his career. He is now 24. I have talked about this in a previous story. He was given community service, anger management classes, and counseling. Yeah, because, we never blame the victim in this society, right? Only when it's women.
But you can't get it expunged if it's in the United States.
I have figured out that she picks the fight because she cannot stand peace. In any peaceful situation, she must be upset and destroy the peace. She must also always be right. If she doesn't get her way in the fight that she's picked, she will continue to escalate over and over until she forces submission or forces the other person into fight or flight. Excuse me, that's what I have to say about that. When they try to get away, she blocks the person trying to flee, which is a crime in Texas, and then forces the fight. Then she claims that she is the victim if she loses the hand-to-hand combat. When we were separated, she tried to force her way into my house to look for evidence of me fucking other women. I blocked her from breaking and entering, and during that scuffle, she fell down as I was pushing her out of my garage. She tripped over her own feet and fell. She called the cops trying to get me arrested for domestic violence. When they showed up, they informed her that she was trespassing and would be arrested if she didn't leave or ever came back. Wow, Texas cops doing their job. That's awesome.
Good.
She spent several minutes trying to argue with them, to which she went quiet under the threat of being arrested. When she tells that story, she says she came over to visit and I pushed her to the ground. For an hour, is it? That I'm a horrible, violent man who needs counseling and anger management. She needs 9mm aspirin. For reasons I won't get into this story, my first daughter, 22, and second daughter, 15, ended up living with my ex. Oh, boy. There have been a few times where fights broke out, but I was not able to do anything at that time. My second son, now 19, was able to avoid physical abuse by appearing to be angry all the time and giving her the eat shit and die looks.
Nice.
Along with growling at her like a pit bull. So she stayed away from him. But this reflects in his personality now because anger is his default setting. He won't let anyone see him happy or smile. Most everyone stays away from him who don't know him. My third son is 17 and fourth son is 12. Have never been directly abused verbally or physically by her that I know of. I spoke in some detail in the other story about how, after the divorce, the ex had to live with her mother and stepfather for about 18 months. She abused them. A little over a year ago, the ex's daughter got married at 31. The ex got shit-faced because she wasn't the center of attention at this wedding. This sounds extremely familiar. She was yelling and screaming at everyone. Her father and stepmother had to intervene while the bride was in tears with the makeup streams. As she began to get violent, she was eventually detained by hotel security and was kept from seeing the ceremony. For the first time, all the family got to see what I had been dealing with this whole time. In her drunken state, she was unable to turn on her victim switch and literally showed her ass to everybody. She was storming around the ceremony area of the hotel in her bra and G-string panties. A worse sight than poolside Pelosi. What a great wedding memory for everyone to cherish forever. Yeah, everybody wants to see a 50, 60-year-old woman in a G-string. I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. I'm sorry. It's like puking on a pile of shit. Hillbilly Hillary exposing her pubic trail gunt in all of its glory.
That
Gunt!
As if I wasn't already about to, erp in my mouth a little bit.
Gut upper nuptial taint.
I just put it right over the top, baby. Because of all the witnesses, she could tell no lies about anyone abusing her, and she conveniently claims she does not remember any of the events that transpired that night, and yet doesn't complain about how she missed the ceremony. Wow, my ex-horse chick did the same thing at 13 years old when her mom actually finally got married, when she found some simp who was actually dumb enough to write a check against a single mom. 13 years old, somehow got shit-faced at her mom's wedding and caused a scene like this. Not with a G-string and bra at 13, and everybody goes to jail. But I'm just
Everyone goes to jail.
That would be bad. Ugh. Because of this show, I have been teaching my children administrative violence.
Yeah.
Last week, the ex went through another round of abuse by slapping around my second daughter, who is 15, broke her glasses, bruised her nose, and her jaw.
What the
Lovely woman that you put the hose to several times.
Yes.
First daughter, 22, was at home to witness the continued battle, which had been going on for 30 minutes in the car. Daughter 22 immediately began recording the battle. Because the ex realized she was being recorded, the attack moved to daughter, who's 22. Daughter 15 then picked up the phone to continue the recording and captured the ex sitting on 22's chest on the floor with a relentless slap fest. 15 continued recording and called 911. The attack moved back over to 15 in an attempt to prevent the call to emergency services, who had already been connected, and got hung up, and 911 called back. This in itself is a crime. The prevention of contact of emergency services. By the time the cops showed up, everything had calmed down as far as the fighting goes, but the girls were pretty hysterical. Women hysterical? Never. The ex tried to dismiss the police, saying everything was fine and they didn't need to be there. But when they wouldn't leave, she switched on her victim persona, telling the cops that she was the victim and the girls attacked her. 22-year-old daughter then showed the cops the video. They already had the audio from the 911 dispatch. The ex was arrested, booked, and spent the night in county jail where she belongs.
Hell yes. Good job.
Nice.
That's good.
But you know
That's
what?
happy. It's a happy.
It is.
There's
There's
need
more
to
still.
actually take your daughters to take some Krav Maga or some Jiu-Jitsu or something.
Yes.
All right, listen, a 40-year-old, drunk gunt woman shouldn't be able to, beat up a 22-year-old. That's not how it works.
The gulch.
Gulch.
Disgusting. And he continues, with all of her family bridges nuked to smoldering ash, no one would post bail, including her married boyfriend.
Oh, no.
Yes, her boyfriend is married. I can't believe that fat cow is a side chick. Well, nobody's going to make her the main chick. Just saying. I know I used to hit that, but she was 110 pounds with a C cup back then, not 200 pounds with beagle ears and a Hillary gun. She finally hired a bail bondsman for a bail of $2,500. While she was still in jail, I drove to her house and gathered 15 and 22's belongings. I took 22 to a hotel near her work. She's now homeless, and I'm working to get her a place that she can afford. This is the backstory of the daughter who needs help with getting a place to live.
Correct.
I took 15 to live with her grandparents. The next day, I went to 15's high school and disenrolled her. While I was there, I gave the school a copy of the Child Protective Services report and the police report as the reason for her leaving. The ex works in the same school system. Administrative violence, bitches.
Oh.
She may lose her job over that then.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good call. She's now on unpaid suspension pending the CPS investigation.
Ooh.
All of her time and resources for the next 12 to 18 months will be spent trying to find a new employment and keep her ass out of prison. There is no way that she will have the time and the resources anytime soon to fight what I did in the following paragraph.
Oh, here we go.
Warm your hands up for the revenge.
Oh, yes.
I have legal custody of the 6 children from the onset of the divorce. 3 of them have aged out, and I have sent daughter 15 to live with the ex. To end all of that, I wrote an email sending it to the ex and the grandparents, which are her mother and stepfather, and to myself. I explained how I spoke with the detective who was investigating the case. I stated in the email that daughter 15 would now be living with the grandparents and that there is a restraining order, so she will no longer be able to see 15 until she turns 18. The email calls out the CPS investigation and the police report. I stated that in good conscience I cannot release the 2 boys into her care for visitations. It states that all standard visits with son number 4, who is 12, and son number 3, who's 17, will be transferred to the grandparents to give the boys time to visit with their sister and extended family.
Mm-hmm.
The boys still live with me full-time. The ex will be allowed 1 supervised 2-hour visit by the grandfather during the visiting weekends in a neutral location. I read the email to my son, 24, who works in criminal justice. After reading it, he asked, "You have a lawyer?" I said, "No, why?" "Well, where did you get that letter?" "Well, Angel and I wrote it together this afternoon." "Well, it sounds good." After I sent the email, I received several emails from the ex. First, she claimed that she was released and not charged with anything and that there is no CPS case. I didn't respond. Then she claimed it was only a temporary misdemeanor. I didn't respond. There's no such thing as a temporary misdemeanor. What the fuck is that? And then she said the charges were unsubstantiated. I didn't respond. The detective hadn't even started the investigation yet. Then she claimed I was lying because there's no way I could have spoken with the case detective because he was off duty the day that I claimed I spoke with him. I didn't respond. I promise I did speak with the case detective on the phone. I have no fucking clue what she's talking about. Maybe she's fucking another detective and she thinks all detectives are one detective.
Yeah, maybe.
In another email, she was declaring that she's the victim and that she was attacked, didn't do anything wrong. Sent me pictures of some scratches on her forearms. He said what they did to me. She said that both of the girls need anger management classes and counseling. And your daughters are no longer welcome to live with me. They're abusive and violent. I didn't respond to that either. However, the girls probably do need counseling for PTSD. I independently called son, who's 19, and son, 24. I separately explained to them that their mother was in jail. Instead of saying, oh no, my gosh, what happened? Like my parents did. My sons laughed with glee.
Damn.
A full belly laugh saying, it's about fucking time. And I quote, karma's a bitch, motherfucker.
That's awesome. I love it.
Beautiful.
I love it.
Oh, yes.
These were just 2 comments in a sea of others. These comments happened before I even gave them any details as to what she did to earn the Chrome Bracelets Award. I had tears welling up in my eyes because I realized I had not heard son 19 laugh in 10 years.
Wow.
That's wow. You may have broken through the shell there on that one. I hope it's an omen of good things. I've been mulling over the morality of my actions. I believe in karma and forgiveness. I've forgiven my ex for everything that she has done to me in the past, but I struggled with forgiving that which she has not done yet, but that I know she will. It's just a matter of time. I've been conflicted because morally I must forgive. Morally, I cannot take revenge. Spiritually, I cannot stand in judgment of others. I've been conflicted to try to describe what I feel. I didn't think I was happy the ex got put in jail, but felt relieved and massively unburdened knowing she was behind bars. Knowing she couldn't hurt anyone during that time was a relief that I cannot describe. Looking around, I realized that finally everyone knows what she's been doing to me and the children all these years. Wow. Finally, everyone believes me and sees all of her lies. Even number 4 son, who's 12, who has never been abused by her, said to me after listening to the ex declare her innocence and victim status, is everything that comes out of her mouth a lie?
Oh, wow.
Probably.
I like it.
It's kind of like watching Kamala Harris on TV. Through all this, I looked up vindicated in the dictionary and I saw a picture of myself. I looked vindicated in the mirror. I should change my name to vindicated because I am vindicated. I contemplated waiting to release this story until I know the outcome of the trials, but her court date for the criminal charges are 12 to 18 months out. There's just too much goodness here to hold on to it. My criminal justice son, 24, now has data and paperwork that he will be able to present to his case showing the ex's violent behavior as a pattern with her, and an identical case to his own, and now with his 2 sisters. This will help his case moving forward to have his records expunged. He thinks she will take a plea bargain for lesser charges, and this disturbs him. I told him I don't think she will. Her ego is too big to plead guilty to anything. She will stand on a plea of innocent, and this thing could go to a jury trial. That could be 3 years out. So much for a right to a speedy trial. Wow. She thinks she's untouchable, but by then only one of your siblings will be under 18. I finally got you guys safe, and I'm sorry it took me so long to get it done. Administrative violence is my moral loophole. I'm not getting revenge or trying to bring my own judgment on the ex. I am preventing the ex from being able to do more damage. She will no longer be able to hurt my children, won't be able to hurt Angel or our children that she and I have, and the ex will no longer be able to hurt me. I'm finally able to pull the lever on the gallows that she built for herself.
Wow.
I'm a Marine, and I was taught how to win battles, not wars. Playing the long game has been a learning process that is 10 years in the making. I wish I had seen Purple Heart's final beat the same year it was released. Thank you, Pop, for teaching me how to win wars and morally play the long game with administrative violence. In all caps, fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
First of
Good
all,
story.
I just have to say this. I am tickled pink.
Yes.
That you're able to use administrative violence to get this karma beat down. But listen, we're all humans. Down here on this ball of mud slinging through space, we got to feed our faces.
We do.
Keep warm. We got to drink water. There's a bunch of basic needs we have.
Yeah.
All right. Now, in regards to morally obligated to forgive, I would have to disagree. All right. And this whole thing about forgiveness, again,
you read the good book. You're a believer.
I respectfully disagree.
You can respectfly disagree.
Listen,
you're still wrong than 2 boys fucking.
I'm getting a walkthrough, okay?
I'm just
saying here that after, like, for instance, in my particular situation with my ex, I'm
just being a dick to be a dick, by the way.
It's fine. This whole forgiveness thing is not going to take place. It's just not.
No.
I'm not that guy.
Fuck that. What about just acceptance?
That's pretty much where I'm at.
I mean, forgiveness, I think it's almost like you have to fucking belittle yourself. you actually like have to think less of yourself to be like, you know what, I'm okay that that person did that to me. Like, you know, let's. Like you got to have like a little lack of self-respect to fucking be like that.
Here's the thing:
it's not necessarily like. I was able to forgive my horse chick for the shit that she did to me, not because I am giving credence or condoning her actions in any way, shape, or form, but because I'm able to take responsibility for the fact that I picked her.
Okay.
And I ignored the red flags that if I knew then what I know now, even not knowing anything about her, I would have been like, no.
Yeah.
I would have held up a cross, told her the power of Christ compelled her to go to the fucking bathroom and get away from me. Bye. But that's about, I mean, you forgive, but you don't forget, and you don't invite them back into your life to do more damage.
But here's the thing. I actually reprocess the anger and the hatred and the disgust into something positive.
Yeah.
Like that's what you should do, yeah.
Yeah, like literally, I mean, the amount of negativity I have to deal with on a daily basis because of what I do is astronomical. And the only reason I can brave the storm is my engine is powered with anger, hatred, and disgust, and I'm like, fuck it, fuck this, we're going through.
Was sprinkled with humor.
Yeah, and I, it is what it is.
And you wonder why you have high blood pressure. I'm just saying, forgiveness is not for the other person; it's for you. So you're not. So you're not carrying around. Now, I will 1,000% agree. Anger is 100 times more useful than despair, but it's also a cudgel that you have to carry with you if you choose to.
I understand.
And when you're already a fat ass, you probably shouldn't be carrying around too much extra weight. Speaking as a former fat ass myself.
Oh, dude. You're just savage.
Fucking fatty.
Savage.
But it's a night for women getting the shit beat out of them. I mean, we got another one right here. This girl was brutally assaulted twice in one day by a boy dressed as a girl. And guess who got suspended? The victim. Well, if you ladies out there are looking for an example of blaming the victim, you need to look no further than the Troon movement.
So are the women now not the biggest potential victim? Did they just get overstepped?
Yes.
By the
Well, no, dude. The Troons have been the top of the victim pyramid now for at least 2 years. But I mean, let's take a look at what the victim of this crime is up to.
Why is nobody grabbing that person and throwing them in the dirt?
Because if you try to restrain a Troon in the middle of committing a violent felony, you're probably going to wind up in jail.
I'm sorry if I was
for
there.
A hate crime. Bedtime.
I would have bounced my shin off that dude's face.
Victim's mother relayed to reporters he full-on attacks her, gets on top of her, pins her down, not able to defend herself in any way because he's bigger, heavier, and over 6 feet tall. Then he begins biting her eye. My daughter said while he was chewing on her eye, he was growling, grabbing handfuls of hair, smashing her head on the pavement. All the while, the teachers and the principal is crouched down next to them.
Somebody's getting sued, man.
I sincerely hope so.
Yeah.
I am sick and tired of this Troon bullshit. And my favorite Troon cope is, you totally can't tell.
I'm sick and tired of all the people. What about all the people that...
That's what I see when you say, you totally can't tell.
I hope to God that's a mask.
I hope so, too. But you know what? In today's day and age, I wouldn't be shocked.
What about all these? What about all these places that all the people, the bodies that are enabling all this
now,
shit?
Now, go back up to that principal.
Teachers
yeah, this freaking cuck here who decided
boards,
to
the
suspend.
mayor, all those.
Hang on.
He suspended the girl who got her eye chewed on.
See, like, how come none of these school boards go after him? The mayor doesn't go after that guy.
Well, this just happened.
You know?
Look at this.
Fucking ridiculous.
He suspended the assault victim for 5 days and demanded students delete the video to cover up what happened.
Yeah, this guy needs to get fired.
This is a cuck right here.
Yeah.
Look at him. Look at the slouch, the shoulders, the fucking...
I'm not saying that he should get the same treatment for the victim that he suspended from school.
No, absolutely
But
not.
I would understand.
Yeah.
If it happened, that's just karma. We don't want it. I just have learned, stay the fuck away from karma because she will rear her head.
Yep. And as always, All of these sources, even the ones that piss you off, are on the website redonkulas.com. Feel free to check them out for
But
yourself.
here's the thing. All right. We need to actually start suing the shit out of these schools for allowing this to happen.
You're not kidding.
All right. Now, if that happened to one of my kids in high school, there would be all kinds of litigation, and I would probably go see the family of this troon, and there would be a discussion.
Yes.
Because that should not be allowed to fly.
No. 1,000%.
Now, like when I was in high school, there was a couple times where I got savagely beat up and picked on. I went and told the teachers, and I brought it up. Nobody did anything about it, so I handled it. I went to their fucking house, and I handled business. That's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
And then after a while, you get the reputation where people start screwing with you. Like people around, like no.
He'll at least fight back. Win or lose, he's going to fight back.
Yep.
But there's been a couple times where after a couple of these incidents, I'm like, literally, this one time I'm walking out of this huge pep rally. I bump into this one guy. He starts getting stupid. And one of the dudes that I actually paid a visit to his house was standing behind me, looking at this other dude picking a fight with me, going, you don't want none of this. Trust me, you don't want none of this. So,
yeah, that's how it goes. I mean, when I was 11, my parents moved us from Oak Park to Troy. And when you're the new kid, what always happens?
You get screwed with.
You get screwed with, yeah. And I knew that it was going to happen, so I was just waiting for the first kid to do it, and I was like, all right, let's go. I'm not even, that's exactly what it was like. I was like, come on. And then this little fucker thought that he could just run at me in a tackle position. And I was like, oh, you're just making this too easy. So I literally took one step to the side, stuck my foot out, and then just double X handled his back as he went by. He tripped over my leg, fell on the ground, landed on his own hands. Like, you done? And I helped him up. I'm like, all right, don't fucking do that again. And he never did.
Everything was cool.
And everything was fine after that.
Because well, even if you fight back, you stand up for yourself. That's all it is.
Here's the thing: is this? I've said, how many times have I said this on the show? When you can't get justice in the courts,
you will find it in the streets.
People will get it outside on the streets. That's a historic truth.
Yep.
And with these troons getting away with all this horse shit, it's just a matter of time before people are like, you know what? Fuck it.
That just moved on its own.
No, the cord. However, the cord is wrapped up around there. It's been pulling at my.
I was just saying. I didn't see. I was like, what happened there?
However, yeah.
I mean, we've done the question couch thing where the poster moved on its own, and there's always that light downstairs that keeps turning on.
Oh, you got shit in this house.
There's some shit going on.
However, the corded was done.
I'm just saying that would be the first time that I had actually seen something, but of course it was the crayon eater.
At least it's not a squirrel.
Fucking squirrel.
Fuck that squirrel.
Speaking of squirrels, though, well, actually, no, not squirrels, because I don't think we would ever shoot Raquel with a pellet gun, right? No. She's a regiment mama. I promised you guys last week a story called The Value of the Skeletons in Your Closet.
Yeah!
From Regiment Mama Raquel, not to be confused with Regiment Mama Calliope. We love you too, baby. She begins, I'm starting to realize that I'm different, even though I'm fairly normal, and that's a good thing. I just got back from a family reunion on my mom's side of the family, so please allow me to explain my family tree. It's always interesting when you go to a family reunion.
Oh, yeah.
As long as you're not looking for a date, that is.
That's not good.
What, too soon?
That's not good.
That's not good at all. They talk about that in the good book as well. My mother's the fourth child out of 10. Oh, by the way, did you know that I think it's in Pakistan, 33% of marriages are with first cousins or something like that?
Yeah.
It might be more.
That explains a lot.
Yeah, definitely the national, the average IQ.
Yeah, a little bit. Room temperature IQ people. Keep going, you're going to get shoe size IQ people.
My first cousin and my sister.
I'm not saying some of those countries don't already exist. No, just saying. But they totally invented everything. Out of all of her siblings, she's the only one, along with her oldest brother, that has not been divorced and has stayed married. I have over 25 first cousins just on that side of the family alone. And many of the stories I could tell you would put Jerry Springer to shame. I think my mom holds the championship. She's got 91 natural first cousins.
That's a whole lot of worn out whistle sacks.
Those Irish Catholics don't really use the prophylactics, do they?
No.
Getting a little raw dog in the road whore action going on. At this particular reunion, only 4 siblings actually came with their spouses, along with myself and my family, my brother and his family, and 2 of my cousins along with their families. So about 30 people. During our visit, I was able to catch up with my aunties, and it was great, but not great. Great to see them, be with them, but so sad to hear how many of my cousins are in a bad way. Genetic predisposition for addictive behavior and making very bad decisions is definitely something that runs in the blood. This is a story from the beginning. My mom's mom, a.k.a. Grandma. Genetic predisposition mentioned above comes from her. I haven't been able to do much research into my grandfather's side of the family, but I know that my grandmother was adopted. Her biological mother and father were alcoholics and would lock her and her siblings in the basement or cellar of their home while they drank. Well, you don't want them to see it, right? You sit down there in the dark, play with the worms. Not those worms. Sometimes they were left down there for days. Very little food and water to share between all the children. I believe she had 4 or 5 siblings. Eventually, a neighbor got wise to what was happening, and the state came in and took custody of my grandmother and her siblings. They were all put up for adoption, and I don't know if she ever saw her brothers or sisters again. That's one of the saddest fucking things that can happen to kids. She was adopted by a very, very good and loving nuclear family. They never abused or hurt her and really loved her like she was theirs. I believe she was 7 or 8 when she was officially adopted by this family. Now, to my knowledge, the grandmother never drank or did drugs of any kind, but I can attest that in our family, if anyone ever does, the wheels are in motion. My grandmother, from what I can tell, was a very good mother, raised her children the best she knew how. Her husband, my grandfather, was admittedly a bit of a chauvinist. He thought that women should be barefoot and pregnant, and that's what he did. He kept his wife barefoot and pregnant. His mistake was focusing on quantity and not quality. I know that personally I have a very big family by today's standards with 5 children, but having children was always something that was very purposeful between my husband and I, and we wanted to make sure that all of our children would get sufficient time with us to raise them with a good moral code and a high standard of character. Don't get me wrong, there are no guarantees in life on what your children end up becoming, but at least I can stand in front of God with a clear conscience on Judgment Day and answer for how I chose to raise my children. For Grandpa, having lots of kids was more like a trophy of sorts, I guess. After my grandmother had her 5th child, that child sadly passed away from complications during birth. It was a very devastating time for her and the family. However, as I have connected the dots of her life, I began to notice a disconnect here. She was a very active mother, cooked, cleaned, sewed, everything you would expect from a 1950s traditional mom. After the loss of her 5th child, things changed, but she and my grandfather continued to have children. They left the raising of the children to the older siblings. My mom tells me that from the time she was about 10, she began getting all of her younger siblings ready for church, walking all of them to the church on Sunday morning without her mom and her dad. She was expected to make her own clothes, succeed at school, but also take her younger siblings with her everywhere as often as possible, and also hold a job. Look, I get it when income is only so much and you only have food for 7, but you have 9. Older siblings catch on and help with family responsibilities. Needless to say, when my mom graduated high school, she got married the day after and started her new life with my dad. When my mom became pregnant with me, she was 20, and my grandmother was pregnant with her 10th child, and she was 42.
Damn.
Yes, I have an uncle who's only 6 months older than me.
Wow.
Woo. As my sister is 16 years older than me, so I have a niece who is 7 years younger. So she's always seen me as more of an older brother than uncle. That's how it goes. Now, you would think that visiting Grandma and Grandpa would be a great time. Lots of family, tons of cousins, and when everyone was there, it was a great time because I had people that liked me that were around. I truly believe that cousins have the potential to become the best of friends when they visit Grandma's house. However, when it was just my family visiting, it sucked. Grandpa worked full-time and never got out of his chair. He had an awesome swimming pool with a slide, and he drained it because he didn't want to sit outside and watch any of us kids in the pool. In my opinion, he was kind of lazy. Grandma decided that she would also work full-time shortly after her last baby was born. She decided to join the police academy and became a homicide detective for the metropolitan area where they lived, working the swing shift during the night. It's actually pretty funny because she was only 4'11", And so when she would come out of her room dressed for work, it looked like she was playing dress up. But she was a certified sharpshooter.
All right.
I think that job made her very bitter. Oh, yeah. You see the worst of humanity on a regular basis. We'll see how positive you are.
Yeah, that is true.
I'm just saying. Just look at what we do. Just looking up the sources for the show sometimes makes us be like Wango Tango, great example.
Yeah.
I've never seen you that drunk on a shoot before or since.
But remember, you brought it up many times. Like, no, I can't do it.
I can't do it. And then finally I was like, oh, dude, this is episode 400. We got to do Wango Tango. And you're like, fine.
I brought that.
I was like, just give me the papers. I'll look it all up. He's like, fine. He gives me this fucking Bible full of PDF files and just like, yeah, I'm going to be here for a while, aren't I? But I scripted that episode carefully so that we wouldn't have to worry about how drunk you were. Still took like 4 hours to shoot.
I believe, didn't I take a nap in your dog bed?
Yeah, you rolled up the dog bed and you was just kind of like,
they're pretty.
I need 5 minutes.
Defense, they're pretty comfortable.
Just give me 5 minutes. I've had that moonshine. It's fucking on my ship. Should have just gave you the Guinness extra stout. You would have been fine.
Yep. Tongue is numb.
Tongue is numb. Like Jar Jar Binks. Jail. When just our family would visit their home, Grandma would be resting or getting ready for her shift, and Grandpa would come home, sit in his chair, and watch TV. Literally, that is all he would do. Kind of sounds like my dad. He'd come home, eat dinner, bitch to my mom for like a half hour, and then he'd go lay on the couch. Sounds pretty familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. There was never a home-cooked meal, cold water to drink, or anything really good in the fridge or pantry to eat. It was definitely not the home that my mom grew up in. My uncles and male cousins were always up to no good, experimenting with alcohol and drugs. Drugs are bad, okay? As I got older, by the way, doesn't Tim Walz look like a post-transition Mr. Garrison?
He looks like a pedophile.
Yeah, I was going to say Chomo.
Or Captain Kangaroo, the pedophile.
I'm just saying, balls to the walls might be missing his balls.
Dude, the guy just needs a fucking van and an imaginary lost dog. That's it.
Or free ice cream.
And free ice cream.
Or a sign that says free ice cream. I'm sure the cream is something else. Disgusting pedo.
Oh, God. Oh,
allegedly, of course.
Oh, my God.
I'm sure for him it would be a Neapolitan because that's the 3 colors of the butt sex rainbow right there.
Oh, my God.
Damn it.
Wait,
What?
Fuck, dude.
Disgusting bastard.
Jesus.
Ben and Jerry's new flavor.
So just wrong.
You know
Put
how they have
cocks away.
Ben and Jerry's new flavor, chunky monkeypox.
Oh, man. Oh, my God. It's dicks everywhere.
We're getting this story's too serious. We're gonna light it up a little bit.
Sorry.
Very, very good story, and it shows you that sometimes shit happens. But I'm just saying. Where were we there? As I got older, I began to hate visiting my grandmother's home. I remember expressing this to my mom at about 10 years old, and she was so upset with me. But eventually, she began to see how miserable it made her children to visit, and our visits became less frequent. What ultimately ended up happening is my mom's younger siblings all have criminal records with serious addictions. I find it ironic that my grandmother, who was a detective during the entire time she was working, her children were doing illegal things right under her nose. It's also ironic that even though she had never brought alcohol into her own home, 5 of her 9 living children are bona fide alcoholics and drug addicts, and even some have worked as exotic dancers.
Okay.
To put it nicely. So Dave's quality of woman.
Pay to play.
I mean, it does resolve a lot of issues.
We're back to the Polacks. Okay, these chicks are on the pole.
At this age, I'm looking for peace.
They run the elections. They run the strip joints. You fucking Polacks.
What's cheaper? What's cheaper? A fucking dancer and a mouth hug with a $50 penicillin shot? Or all the other alternatives.
A box of crayons.
I'm just saying.
I have already done the video, man. I've already compared the math.
You can never turn a hoe into a housewife.
It's just like, Jesus. It's like, I can't help it. I'm older now. I don't, the other shit don't work. It's like,
yeah, I know.
Expensive pussy, cheap pussy, pussy's pussy. Just
somebody
5 minutes, let me go home.
Somebody sent me a video of a stand-up comedian who was like talking about how all these young chicks, they just have, that there's nothing more flagrantly awful than the ego of a 20-year-old girl now. Because like he said, he was at a bar and this chick's like, I bet I'm hotter than your wife. He's like, yeah, but you're not hotter than my family and my mortgage. I'm gonna no.
Get away.
Get the fuck away. Like, that stuff is sexy. I want to just get the fuck away from me.
Girls get legitimately angry when you turn them down,
Yes, they do.
especially for sex. When you're like, because I especially like with when I divorced my ex-wife and all that, like you start to, it's like, no, you legitimately, your dick doesn't work for them and stuff like that, and they know it. It's like, oh, it's only half hard. It's like, well, I'm only kind of half into you now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what to tell you.
I'm playing pool with a piece of rope here.
Yeah, it's like, it's amazing. You actually have to do something to be a decent person and partner.
Yeah.
We finished,
and not gaining 100 pounds doesn't help either. I'm just saying. I can't say that if my grandmother had not decided to work that her children would have turned out differently, because I'm no fortune teller. But in my opinion, I would have to make the argument that if she had stayed home, perhaps gotten help for her grief, things would have turned out differently. I'm currently 42. I'm the age that my grandmother was when she found out she was pregnant with her last baby. In all honesty, I think I would lay down and cry if I found out that I was pregnant today. So you come off like Regiment Mama, but you're more like Regiment Sister.
Yeah.
Okay, so Calliope will be Regiment Mama, you could be Regiment Sis. How about that? Although some people in the regiment are kind of young, like Jackal, he would look up and call her an older lady, but just saying. In all honesty, I think I would lay down and cry if I found out I was pregnant today, not because I wouldn't want the child, but because my last pregnancy, I was 35, and it was my most difficult. Women are definitely meant to have children before 35. Did you know that women begin to decline in fertility at 27? Fun fact.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's why if you
That
break up
early?
with one at that age, they get a little pissy. So what is the value of this story? Why does it even matter? It matters because today women think they can have it all. A career and a family, and keep their mental illness. That is truer than I ever knew until I read the words aloud.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Trauma bonding. It's the new thing.
I have seen it for myself over and over and over again, that it isn't possible even when you're married. It is a falsehood of this world that the boss babe will make your life fulfilling. It is a falsehood that you should love yourself before loving others. You go, queen. The anecdote is gratitude, accepting that you are messed up and serving others even when you need service too. Throwing yourself into a career and shirking your parental responsibilities might get you worldly status, but it will come with great sacrifice. I personally come to learn that sacrifice is one of God's laws, and I know that in order to achieve greatness, sacrifice is required. However, the choice is yours on where you want to make that sacrifice. Do you sacrifice your family and leave them to the systems of society? Fuck that! Or nannies to raise your children? Or would you rather sacrifice the fancier things in life, such as vacations, nicer clothes, new cars, or a bigger home in order to raise your children to the best of your ability and give the best of yourself to them? For me, I choose the latter. I don't think I could live a superficial life and have superficial relationships with my kids and my husband, but have all the stuff for the accolades. To me, the value of being a mother and a wife is truly fulfilling and what brings meaning and purpose to my life. This is my battle cry for the sad, lonely women of today. Service is where you will find joy. And the jobs that these women pick, even after going $100,000 into student debt, prove this over and over again.
Yes, they do.
So by today's standards, I'm different. I'm the odd one in my extended family and the odd one in the real world, and I'm okay with it. Much love, Raquel.
All right.
Damn. Yeah, that's like
a damn good story.
Yeah, she builds it up, and then right in those last two paragraphs, like, huh. So some food for thought this particular Thursday.
Yeah, we need to jump to alt tech.
Yes, we do. I'm going to just read these quick chats here over on the YouTubes. There's just a couple of them left here. Count Chad the Impaler. Feminism is a tool used by the 0.01% male elites to handicap ordinary men from rising by merit. And that's why they eventually moved from the neocons to the neolibs, is because they realized that the best way to crush out competition is through regulation. That's why they do it. Ditto education system and the laws, economic concept of barriers to entry, plus with divide and conquer. You're damn right.
100%.
Yeah, well, we got to make sure that these corporations are reined in and but really what happens is the corporations with the billions of dollars, they have the army of lawyers and accountants to circumvent all of these laws that really in the end only apply to people like us.
Correct.
To prevent us from being entrepreneurs. Unless apparently you want to show your butthole on OnlyFans for $5 a month. That's what you call an entrepreneur now. I shit you not. If you're a supporter, you've already seen classic mistakes modern women make. If you're not a supporter, you're going to have to wait till Monday. And no striptease for you. And I'm not the one in the striptease, damn it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we'll have none of that.
That's disgusting. Hermitage Prepper. Forgiveness is a poor substitute for justice. To forgive is to invite them to do it again. That's why they put it into the book that they wrote. Well, for me, forgiveness came after justice. I'm just saying. It's a lot harder to forgive if you haven't already gotten even.
So I can get on board with that.
Yeah. Well,
is it even or is it balance?
I think it's balance. This is what we should be searching for. Yeah, balance is key to all aspects of life. Yeah. Count Chad the Impaler. Albert Einstein married first cousin Elsa. Their mothers were sisters. Poet Lord Byron had a daughter with his half sister after they met as adults. Oh God! And now imagine a whole culture being like that. Religion of peace. Religion of piece of shit. I'm just saying.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Not a whole hell of a lot. All right. One last call really quick for all those people who are interested in video editing. Shoot me or pop an email. He'll forward them all to me, redonkulasblake@gmail.com. Anybody who is interested in helping out. We've already got Gordo who's helping us out with the Lyra videos. Much love to you, Gordo. You're awesome. I've been talking to another gentleman who edits on the same editing suite that I do, Adobe Premiere, which is great because I still wind up having to finalize these projects before they go online because they go up to 6, 8, 10 different channels.
And worst case scenario, you can use it as a line in your resume. I mean, technically, you'd be working for 2CC, a nonprofit company.
Correctamundo.
So,
hell yeah. All right, we're going to take a break because I got to empty my squirrel bladder. And then we have a whole litany of fucked up but funny videos that are going to be waiting for you on the new tech side, in addition to more super chats. And it looks like we have a Gendai 351 meme video called Blake's Initial Interview. I think I just felt my balls creep back in a little bit. We'll see what happens. But if it's anything like Dave's new video here, I think we can all rest easy because this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Can you go fast? Can you go slow? Can you go high? Can you go low? Now stand up straight and stop. Do the wiggle dance.
What the fuck is it?
fucking awesome.
I figured I'd leave you with something to make you guys laugh. See, this is the kind of stuff you miss out on when you don't come over to New Tech. Jimmy's already got those links in there. Enjoy the Jeffrey Paul tunes. Go piss yourselves, hopefully in a toilet, not in your pants. Refill your menageries. We'll see you in 5.
Yeah.